In the name of God the Almighty, peace to you. Today I will explain why and how this world, which is unfortunately a corrupt world, a polluted world, is crumbling down right now. So why this is happening and how? First of all, I will speak from uh, you know uh, I can't say it a religious point of view because I don't follow any religion. However, there are guidance and holy texts, whether it's the Torah or the Bible or the Quran or Buddha's teachings or the Dharma and many other sources. There are portion of the truth in each and every book. But this is not only the where I'm coming from with the information or what I'm going to say, because also I have a strong connection with the divine realm personally. So what's going on in the world right now and why the countries are not understanding what's going on? First of all, in the divine algorithm that God set for each mortal space like planet Earth, there is a timer for each and every civilization cycle. When their time comes, there is no way back. If they are good, they will be gracefully going into a new world, a new phase. And if they are bad, then change will happen violently or with a disease, with natural disasters, and all these things. So the timer has started of the civilization, and maybe officially will we have had the coronavirus now for 1 year. It was just the beginning or the biggest sign so far that something is going on, and it was the people and the countries have been given an entire year to think about what's happening. But unfortunately, God doesn't exist in their, platforms. He doesn't exist anywhere, even in the religious circles, because these religious circles are have nothing to do with God. They are teaching people just to get attached to false hopes and to a religious identity that has nothing to do with the divine identity. So, what's going on right now? Now I explained why it's happening from the divine point of view, because there's a timer and people are not ready. And from the other why, as I said, it's also because why this happening violently. It's happening violently because, as I said, uh, people have been corrupting the land. People, the rich have been becoming richer, the poor poorer. Countries still fighting countries. Uh, Plenty of injustice worldwide. So it's normal that the change will come violently, regardless if there are, a minority, a religious minority, or minority of wise people who understand God and they are doing the right thing. But the vast majority, unfortunately, of the world population have turned their back to their maker, and that for their own demise. Because when God sent us the commandment at the beginning of this civilization, when Moses left Egypt with the children of Israel, he gave us 10 commandments to observe. Those should have been the basics of each and every individual of us to observe, not to cross any red line of them, and all these things. But when people do not observe that, and with time they denied even the existence of God. And they speak about that like a myth. However, there are some people who are conscious of God, or they have good consciousness. They do the good things regardless if they believe or not. But all of these good people are very small minority. So let us explain why this world is corrupt. God wants a world because God gives everything in measures and in numbers. Everything must be balanced. So the balance must be kept. That means no cat should be hungry, no human should be hungry, no dog should be hungry, no cow should be abused. All these things has to be balanced. That means each and every human being, if he wants to keep his world eternal and free and everything, he must act responsibly. He must act as a divine being. That means I do not transgress. I do everything responsibly. That means if I earn more money than what's enough for me and my family, I check on all my neighbors who is a little bit in hardship. I give him, so everything remain equal between everybody, especially when it comes to wealth. Regarding your communication with the divine and your ascension and your spirituality, you can do that individually on your this is where you should compete with one another and the good things, and learning good science, asking for more knowledge, seeking more wisdom, and all these things. But the basics of life must be assured for everybody, every living thing. And that can't happen when we are abusing the green spaces, when we are abusing the animals in order to sell their foods or their products. And even the agriculture have been polluted because lots of chemicals has been, they are every, all the almost the agriculture products are given chemical products in order to have more season than usual, just because we want money. So when we abuse, when we act like assholes, devils, whatever you want to call it, when we act selfishly, narcissistically, that we are the center of the world, each one of us, completely the opposite of the divine, we are reaching the place where we are right now. So there is no one to blame, there is no anger against the heavens. We are the enemy, we ourselves, because we didn't rise to be divine in our behavior and our lifestyle in anything we do. We gave everything to our dark side. That means I want everything for myself regardless of how. There is no responsibility. Irresponsible society everywhere. This is the state of this world. And that's why we are seeing this happening now, and this world is crumbling down. There is no one else to blame. We have been given minds to calculate things, to measure things, to know what we have on this planet and how we should keep the balance going regarding human reproduction, regarding what type of animals should be here, not there, and all these things. And we have been given hearts to be gentle, to be loving, to care for one another, and all these things, and all of this not happening. The brother hates his brother, the sister hates her sister, the neighbor hates his neighbor. Everything is upside down, and you wonder why the corona is here and why more bad things are coming our way, and why this world is coming to an end. The world, this civilization, I mean. So when we have crossed all the red lines, we have only ourselves to blame. What do you want more from God? He gave us our lives. He gave us souls. He gave us minds. He gave us hearts. He gave us everything. And He gave us this planet called home and everything that's we are responsible to rule it wisely. What you still asking God for? And the funny thing, people are spending trillions of dollars to go to another planet in order to pollute it too. Stay here, rule this planet wisely, spread the wealth equally, not necessarily to have monetary system. Let us live for each other, each one in his field. Let us live each for all and all for the one for the all and all for the one. But spread the wealth equally. I mean by the wealth here, for example, the portions of lands. Just remove these borders and dissolve these armies, destroy the weapons. This is what we should have been doing. Not now, maybe 10 or 20 years ago at least. But what's happening? We are still fighting each other. We are still abusing each other. We are still stealing the wealth of one another. And we are abusing the animals. And we are invading the green spaces. We are polluting the oceans. So what do you expect? I just be warned me that people are complaining or blaming God or thinking God is some kind of tyrant and He's going now to punish them. The divine algorithm is set with a balance. You are given everything you need to rule this planet wisely, and you didn't. You are paying the price of your own making. You understand now what God is? And the funny thing also that many people you listen to and they believe themselves to be gods, act like a god. God for them is someone who has no boundaries. He wants to do whatever he wants, regardless of how and who will be harmed in the procedure or the process. God is injustice. You have to be just in every step you make. God is peace. You have to be peaceful. You don't carry weapons. You don't build armies. You don't put borders. You don't build walls. God is balance. You have to have everything in measures. The ecosystem must be protected. The human reproduction should be, balanced. God is mercy. As I said, and love. We have to love one another and be merciful with one another. And that happens only when we stop our greed, when we act responsibly. That means I am happy with my wife or my husband. I do not go sleep with the husband or the wife of somebody else. I am, for example, having this type of business. I don't try to, if I was lucky and having my fortune becoming greater, instead of building another business empire like a monopoly, I go see where I can give someone who's less fortunate. This way we can keep our home as a real paradise and for eternity. because no more depression, no more competition and lower things. We will be living peacefully like gods. So this is what we should have been doing, and we didn't do it. We are dividing our human race into countries, into religions, into communities, into races, into blah blah blah, and all this crap. And each and every person jump into this label or that label and believe that he's believing in something that is permanent, while in reality he's just believing in something harmful for him, harmful for his loved ones, and he will take him to the grave in the end, not to become eternal, not to rise from the dead. You understand the point? Besides, there's also in the creation of the human being, there's also the jinni beings or the energy beings. That means me, I have an energy copy of me. And these energy beings live in, say, a shadow planet. That is, you can call the electromagnetic field of this planet, or part of it, part of the entire electromagnetic field. So that's the energy field where these my copies exist. Some uh, unwise people who think themselves wise try to accommodate their energy beings taking over their bodies. Why? Because they could give them a couple of more years to live. So they get older than usual. That they hope for. And many of them believe that's the way God is made. Yes, but if you don't have strong will, you should not attempt that, because you should never cease your body to be invaded completely by those beings. You don't kill yourself to, as a human, to accommodate the jinni in your body. Now the magnetic poles of the earth, which of the shadow earth, are flipping. What's going to happen? All these rays, the cosmic rays now, will be very harmful for who? For those who accommodated the energy beings inside them. You see, that's why things start to happen and people are not understanding what's going on. But as I said, when we crossed all the red lines and we didn't act wisely, what we are expecting. We are paying for our greed. We are paying for our disbelief in our maker. We are paying for our idiocy, superficiality, materialism, and all these things. So that's why and how this world is crumbling down. From tomorrow on, from the date of 21st of December, things will start to accelerate, because we are entering into the decade, the final decade of the civilization, definitely. We will see more strong earthquakes, we will see more natural disasters, we will see animals dying in huge numbers and people dying in huge numbers. So you have to be ready to ready yourself for this very uh, you know if you are not believer, you'll find it very hard, period. But if you are spiritually connected and in alignment with the divine realm, you feel the grace of the end of a corrupt world, paving the way for the birth of a perfect world. Hopefully it will be the eternal world, because the eternal world which will be given to those people who acted responsibly during the lifetimes they've been given. Because it's not my fault that everybody else, for example, acting unwisely, I deserve, for example, eternity, because I acted inside the red lines I wasn't greedy, I wasn't polluting, and I've done everything right. So these are the people who will inherit and join the new world. Of course, we want God to be merciful on others who lost themselves, but I don't know, there must be ranks or something. We will see. This is not my business, this is God's business. But I am speaking, explaining why this happened, and this is still happening, and what's to come. So let us see what's going to happen. I personally think that one soul has one self, human self, has reached a level in improving its soul to a degree that even its dark side has been accommodated without any, someone who make the two one, just like God. He reached high potential like Jesus or something. So this soul will be then given a copy of it to all the other souls who will join the eternal realm. Why it will become eternal? Because this soul is very responsible to a degree, something between 90% and 100%. So, of course, the new world will last forever because people know the rules. There will be no more human reproduction. There will be no greed. There will be no money and all these things. You understand the point? So, this is what's going on. If you are a wrongdoer and you know it, repent. Go back, go on your knees and communicate with the divine in order to get back to the rope of God, because otherwise it will be a very severe period for you and your loved ones. And if you are a good doer and a believer and someone who knows God, then rejoice, because after this tribulation everything will be fine and far beyond your imagination, and you will be more than thanked for your patience. So that's it from me today. I hope people just listen and act for their own benefits. I have nothing to gain from. I just wish that everybody would see the truth and would see God, and they should not fear death. And at the same time, they should change behavior and fix their ways before it's too late. I trust in the mercy of God, but why they should get punished even for 1 year or 10 years, why they can avoid that, why they want to be in a rank lower than many others of them just because they live this life arrogantly or ignorantly, or you see. So peace to you all. I wish you all the best.